why don't we kind of just touch on, you know, like what made the shift for you from going from lead gen to demand gen, and maybe talk a little bit about, you know, why did you make that shift, and when did that happen, and then we'll kind of,
Yeah.
you know, work towards the demand gen topic.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, and when your thoughts on brand there are spot on. Demand is a part of brand. If you think what it means to have a strong brand, some people think it's just that you're a brand identity, but I think it
Hmm.
goes a lot deeper into what you believe, the problems you solve, and who
Hmm.
you solve them for, and that's really what demand gen is. At
Yes.
least good demand gen. So the thing that made a difference for me, I was a marketer. I was in charge of marketing for a small university, really into the lead gen model and running the lead gen hamster wheel. We all kind of
Hmm.
know how it goes. And I think B2B was probably the first to really move to a demand gen model.
Hmm.
And we started to implement that again. To mention Dan Sanchez, it was his idea. I kind of came after him in the university, and he got the ideas rolling with that. And the thing that changed my mind was that I started to understand we had a problem with lead gen every single year, hitting
Right.
our numbers. And the problem was that we had a really small market, incredibly niche college, and we were eating up so much of that market. And so we started to build this demand gen engine within our school, and it was really heavily reliant on content. So the school was a missionary training school, and we thought we need to, instead of just trying to grab people who are wanting to be missionaries through advertising, which is what we were doing to get leads. It was
Hmm.
incredibly expensive
Hmm.
and getting more expensive every year, getting more difficult every year, as we also could tell just through data, through studies, that less and less people were interested in that kind of thing. We said we need to take the offensive, and we need to help people understand the importance of missions. We need to help people mature in their faith, and we need to be the school that has that kind of influence. So
Hmm.
if you think, like, the essence of marketing is influence, and for a long time marketers were able to get away with having a really crappy amount of influence and just putting ads on Facebook or Google or whatever it might
Hmm.
be, and running for a white paper or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not really any kind of influence. That's just picking people off one by one. And so we started to build up this engine that had an actual influence on people, and we were able to measure people's maturity and their problem and solution awareness for what our school offered. So over the 2 years that I was in charge of marketing there, the website that we had built, we built a media brand within the school. The website that we built moved from, I think it was like 8,000 monthly visits when I got there to over 600,000 when I left. That made an incredible difference on, even if you just want to look purely at lead gen numbers,
Hmm.
which I want to measure things by the what happens at the bottom of the funnel, not at the top. But
Sure.
even if you just look at those lead gen numbers, we replaced all of our paid advertising leads with organic inbound leads that were a higher quality. And that's because we played the long game. We did the work. Now, in that time, I saw what it meant internally to have to fight for a demand gen model, because it's a lot of upfront work with not very much upfront results. It
Hmm.
takes time to build. You just got to keep saying the results will come. The results will come. It's going to take these repeated actions over and over again for us to actually have influence, because you can't have someone trust you the next day.
Right.
And that's what you have to build. So I saw the results for that. It was a hard fought battle to be able to do it. And made a bet, and it paid off in the end. And so that was the biggest thing for me. It's I actually genuinely got to see it even before Chris Walker and Refine Labs started doing a really good job at promoting demand gen.
Hmm.
We just happened to be doing it before we even knew what it was called, and it made a world of difference for us. So